Hey guys, Nuan here with Movie Snigger Reviews. Now, some of you may know that I'm a huge Beatles fan, so I'm really excited to watch Danny Boyle's new film, Yesterday. This movie looks like it's going to use these iconic Beatles songs for storytelling. So this got me thinking, what are other films that use songs and music for creative storytelling? Remember, these are songs and music used by the characters as a plot device to achieve something or overcome an obstacle. It has to be diegetic sound. Also, a big spoiler warning before we begin. Some of these sequences are the best scenes in their respective movies, and some of them are really climactic moments. So if there are any movies that you already want to watch, you'd better watch it before I spoil them for you. No musicals and no music biopics here. Let's get started. We're starting this list off with a scene from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Sounds like someone wants to get funky.
So Todd Ingram is one of the evil exes that Scott Pilgrim has to defeat. But Todd has magic vegan powers, so he's too powerful for Scott in a straight-up fight. So Scott challenges him to a base-off. I love this scene. It's shot like a duel from a video game like Street Fighter with the characters squaring off, and I love how the bass notes leap onto the screen while Todd is playing. The scene is just bursting with bass energy. There's plenty of other great tracks in this movie, but this one is my favorite. As a fan of movies, music, and video games, it's a delight to watch because it brings together all of these elements in a hilarious way. Number 9. Mars Attacks. Now, I don't remember much about this movie. All I remember is that it's a weird, cartoony alien invasion film by Tim Burton. It's got wacky animation for the aliens and a huge cast of actors like Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Glenn Close, and even a young Natalie Portman. So the Martians invade Earth and go around killing people. And there's this old lady who loves to listen to Slim Whitman's version of Indian Love Call. As the Martians try to sneak up on her, the headphones come off and the song starts playing on the big speakers. And somehow, the yodeling cowboy part of the song causes the Martians' heads to explode. And then the humans figure out how to defeat the invaders. They go around playing the song all around the world. The aliens are defeated. The end. It's a Deus Ex Machina if ever there was one. I'm not a big fan of this movie, but it's kind of funny to watch Martian heads explode by the power of music. And let's face it, it's not the weirdest Tim Burton movie you've seen. Number 8. Country Roads from Alien Covenant. Alien movies usually begin with some kind of distress signal. The humans go looking for it, they run into some xenomorphs and get into trouble. In Alien Covenant, it's not some mysterious alien signal, but the voice of a human, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw from Prometheus, who's singing a John Denver song. It's familiar but kind of creepy at the same time.
Well, mama, take me home, country road. That's fucking John Denver. That's Take Me Home, Country Roads.
Gotta be kidding.
Oh no, I never kid about John Denver.
And it's interesting that the crew of the Covenant is looking for a new home to colonize, and suddenly here's this ethereal voice reaching out across the gulf of space, beckoning the listener to come find them, to come home. That is creepy. Also, a few months after Alien Covenant came out, another movie used the same song. In Kingsman 2, Merlin starts singing this song to distract some guards so that Harry and Eggsy can get past them. It's a beautiful emotional scene as the music swells up as Merlin says goodbye to Harry and Eggsy. A lot of people die in this movie, but Merlin's sacrifice is the one that really got to me. It was a sad but heroic end to one of my favorite characters from this series. And Merlin singing Country Roads at the top of his lungs definitely made the scene feel more impactful. Number 7. Back to the Future. Now all you 80s movie fans are gonna remember this iconic scene. So Marty McFly has gone back in time and he has to make sure that his parents fall in love at the school dance or else he would not exist. Now the band at the dance cannot perform because their guitarist is injured. So Marty picks up a guitar and joins the band. At first, they start playing Earth Angel by the Penguins to set a romantic mood. This scene is really tense. Marty almost disappears from existence, but George finally finds his courage and kisses Lorraine. The future is saved. But then, the band asks Marty to play another song. And then, we get what in my opinion is the coolest moment in the whole movie. Marty starts playing Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry. Now, it's a song that didn't exist in the 1950s, a song from the future. The band leader Marvin Berry is a fictional cousin of Chuck Berry, so he calls Chuck on the phone and gets him to listen to the song. This implies that Marty just changed rock history by inspiring Chuck Berry to write this song. The crowd goes wild and Marty goes full on Jimi Hendrix. The expressions on people's faces is priceless. It's just an awesome 80s movie moment.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But you kids are gonna love it.
Number 6, the awesome mix from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I like how in this movie the Guardians have gotten used to playing music in the background while they fight. It's kind of like how people listen to music while they work. There's that scene where they fight the giant squid monster while Baby Groot dances along to Electric Light Orchestra. There's even a funny argument about whether they should worry about the speakers or get ready for the monster.
What's he doing?
I'm finishing this so we can listen to tunes while we work.
How is that a priority?
Blame Quill! He's the one who loves music so much.
No, I actually agree with Drax on this. That's hardly important right now.
Oh, okay. Sure, Quill.
I like the soundtrack from the first movie, but I think there's a couple of songs in Volume 2 which really resonated on an emotional level and added to the storytelling. The first is Brandy by Looking Glass. The lyrics basically explain what Ego is doing, what his motivation is, why he left Peter's mother, and what he wants Peter to be. It's really on my second time watching the movie that I started to appreciate the lyrics and how James Gunn integrated these songs into the storytelling and character development. And there's of course the Father and Son song by Cat Stevens. It's a beautiful song that perfectly sums up one of the major themes in this movie: fatherhood. It's also kind of poetic that by the end of the movie, Peter has grown and matured to be the father figure for the Guardians. He's sitting there with his arm around baby Groot and they listen to the song together. And I like how the song is played on the MP3 player that Yondu got for him and not the Walkman that Ego destroyed, again showing who his real daddy is. And that Ravager funeral at the end with the fireworks going off in space, I love it. It's beautiful. I cry every time I watch that scene. Well done, James Gunn. Number 5, Love Is All Around. In this movie, Billy Mack, played by Bill Nye, is a legendary rock star with all of his best years behind him. So he wants to make a comeback by releasing a special Christmas cover of the song Love Is All Around.
New Christmas single cover of Love Is All Around.
Except we've changed the word love to Christmas.
So while promoting the song, he claims that if the song beats the boy band Blue and reaches number 1 on the charts by Christmas, he's gonna perform on TV naked. Now, Love Actually is a film with multiple storylines happening at the same time. There's one with this kid who's trying to sneak into an airport to tell the girl how he feels before she flies away. So as the kid gets stuck at the security gate, Billy Mack appears on TV and starts performing naked because the song did reach number 1. And then the guards get distracted and the kid sneaks past. It's one of the most satisfying moments in the whole movie, with the musical score building up as these storylines cross over. The song doesn't actually play during this scene, but I love how it's used as a plot device. It's such a feel-good moment and a ridiculously funny scene.
Oh fuck, wank bugger shitting asshead at the hole.
Number 4, Inception. In this movie, Cobb, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is an extractor who enters people's dreams and steals information. So basically a dream heist. One of the big plot devices in this movie is that changes in the real world can be felt from inside a dream. And sometimes a character in the real world has to signal somebody inside the dream without waking them up. They do that by playing this beautiful song by French singer Edith Piaf. And the song is heard from inside the dream like this thunderous sound that's coming from all around. It's like the walls, the mountains, and even the ground the characters are standing in is singing this song. It feels like a tidal wave building up, and the song is integrated perfectly to go along with Hans Zimmer's music and adds this feeling of grandeur to the film's climactic moments. Number 3, V for Vendetta. In this movie, V uses symbolic acts of terrorism to inspire the people to stand up to their leaders. I meant symbolic because he's not killing innocent civilians, he's only blowing up buildings which are considered to be symbols of justice which have been corrupted by the fascist government. The movie begins with V blowing up the Old Bailey, which is rebelliously epic.
I don't see any instruments.
Your powers of observation continue to serve you well.
He's standing on this rooftop pretending to be a conductor, and then you hear Tchaikovsky's music blaring over the PA system. The people of London who are supposed to be inside due to curfew walk out and they see the building explode right on cue along with fireworks going off. This kicks off a series of events which slowly build up the tension until it's like a tsunami crashing onto this oppressive system. The crescendo V refers to in Tchaikovsky's music is almost like an analogy for the climactic ending in front of the Houses of Parliament. It's almost like the 1812 overture describes the structure of this story. Plus, it makes you feel like you just helped change world history. Number 2, Star Trek Beyond.
Let's make some noise.
In this movie, the bad guy Krall, played by Idris Elba, controls a swarm of small ships. In the beginning, this swarm overwhelms the Enterprise and the crew are forced to abandon ship and they suffer a massive defeat. Later on, they realize that by broadcasting a signal on the VHF frequency used by the swarm, they could disable it. They achieve this by broadcasting the song Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, effectively turning their starship into a space radio station. It's so cool to watch old school technology and 90s hip-hop music being used to destroy this advanced fleet. Plus the added satisfaction of watching the crew overcome an enemy that previously defeated them. I love how Sofia Boutella's character chooses the song and the reaction on Kirk's face when he recognizes it. It's such a fun sequence and the director Justin Lin knew that. He moves the camera through the bridge and you can see Chekhov tapping his foot and Sulu headbanging, and even Bones is asking if it's classical music. It's hilarious, it's entertaining, and it's such a visual spectacle to watch. So finally, number 1, Ghostbusters 2. In this movie, there's a river of slime that's flowing under the city of New York. This slime feeds off of negative emotions, and if you get covered in it, it can cause you to do bad things. So it's a vicious cycle of bad emotions that will only reinforce itself because New Yorkers are always in a bad mood. Later on, the Ghostbusters have to get into the museum to stop the bad guy, but they cannot penetrate the giant slime bubble that's covering the building. So they decide that they need some symbol of hope to cheer people up in order to break through the bubble. They spray positively charged slime all over the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, hello, miss. That's Frosted. It's slime time.
And then they connect a Walkman to the PA system to play the Jackie Wilson song, Higher and Higher. As the music starts playing, the torch of Lady Liberty bursts into flame and the statue comes to life. So the Ghostbusters have turned this national monument, this symbol of freedom, into what is essentially a giant mech and walks down the streets of New York. It's so cool when they use the flaming torch to break through the museum roof, and the reactions from New Yorkers are priceless. There's a reason why this is number 1 on my list. I think it's one of the most uplifting movie moments ever made. It uses music in a creative way, and I don't think there's a better display of the power of music than this scene from Ghostbusters 2. So there's my list. I hope I've inspired you to watch some of these movies. And if you guys know of any songs or music used for creative storytelling or used as plot devices, please let me know in the comments. I would love to check them out. It's great when filmmakers can use music like this, and I hope more people do this. So thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Movie Slinger out.